episode 2 of Simply Great Relationships podcast. We're glad you could join us today. I'm Marina and this is Meredith Silversmith, and we are excited to bring you this episode on creating rituals of connection with your partner. Make sure to stay until the very end because we've got a great bonus for you, and we'll tell you how to get it at the end.
Yep. So one of the things we address with couples in our office every day is the breakdown in rituals of connection. So what are rituals of connection? I would describe them as things you do every day or nearly every day with your partner that feel good. So it's things that you count on, things that you know are going to happen, they're predictable, they're consistent. So like for me and my husband Tom, we watch certain shows together, and no matter what, neither of us would watch an episode without the other one. So those are our like protected times, and a lot of our shows happen to be on Sunday nights. So I feel like that works really well. Walking Dead, I hear that from a lot of my clients. I think there's a lot of you out there Walking Dead fans.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. So we watch all our shows. We do it on Sunday nights, and we have a little ambiance, right? We sit together on the couch. We don't sit on opposite sides of the room. We sit together. We have a snack. We have a glass of wine. We create our experience. That's one of our rituals that we do.
George and I have like even a smaller one than that. Whenever we like don't see each other and we come together, we always kiss. And that's a ritual of connection. And I know that, like, if we were apart, even if, like, he just goes to the store and he comes back, or he runs to get a coffee, he comes back, we know that whenever we come back together, like, there's going to be a kiss because that's our ritual of connection, and it's really important and communicates, like, love and attraction and, like, something just really nice and positive and simple to look forward to in our relationship, and we really protect that. It's really important, and, like, we, even when it's kind of harder to get in, like, say we're in a big rush, that's very protective for us. I'm always like, where's my kiss? Or he's always like, we got to do the kiss.
That's good. That's a really good one. So something that happens over time in relationships, the rituals create themselves in the beginning, right? So that honeymoon phase of the relationship when you're spending a lot of time together and you're doing a lot of fun things, right? Date nights. You're more motivated to spend time with each other, so you meet for coffee before work, or you go running together.
Cute texts.
Cute texts, definitely. Good morning texts, right? Good night texts if you're not living together. So a lot of that stuff creates itself. But as life moves forward, the relationship moves forward, life stress, hectic schedules. We live in New York, so we, it's just crazy here between traffic and commuting.
Very hectic,
life, it's insane. So it's really easy for your time and your energy to get zapped and sucked into so many other things that these rituals start to break down. They start to lose their place as a priority, and it just sort of happens over time if you're not aware of how important they really are. Yeah,
and I think a lot of people, when I talk about rituals of connections with them, and like they're so good at identifying the ones they had in the beginning. Like, every night we would go for a walk with our dog together, and it was really nice, and it was time for ourselves. They'll say, well, life just got in the way.
Yeah.
And to me, like, what that translates into is this wasn't prioritized. What you prioritize is what communicates what's important. You prioritize what's important, and what you prioritize is what becomes like kind of the foundation of your relationship. So when rituals of connection break down, what message are you sending about your relationship?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that it's not super important. And I would venture to guess that if you're watching this or listening to this, you don't feel that way. Your relationship is important to you, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So we want to make sure that the messages that you are putting out are aligned with the messages that you want to be putting out.
Yeah.
Because it's not intentional. So that's really, really key. Why are they so powerful? How do they get that power?
Well, the thing about a ritual of connection, like think about just rituals culturally, like what makes them so powerful. Like holidays are rituals, birthdays are rituals, all these things. Why are they so powerful? Why is Christmas like such a production and Thanksgiving such a production? Because they really connect people.
Yeah.
They connect people and they really send this message of like, you are so important. We are taking this time to be together, and this time is sacred and protected because you are important and this time is important. And that is such a powerful, powerful message to send to your partner that this is important. So the rituals of connection are super, super important because they communicate, you are important to me.
Yeah.
You're not just like Cindy from the office. You are that person that I invest my time into.
Definitely. And I think part of what creates the ritual, right, what keeps it going is, like I said before, it's predictable. You know that it's going to happen, and it's consistent. You know when, where, how. You know all the details around it. And it becomes a ritual when it becomes a routine, right? So it's automatic. You don't think about it. You just sort of like meet on the couch on Sunday night. You go straight to your partner when you get home from the store. It's just a part of your world. So it becomes so powerful because you're doing it without even thinking about it. And that's really, really a strong, strong force.
Yeah, and another thing, borrowing again from our guru John Gottman, is what rituals of connections do is they make positive deposits in our emotional bank account.
Yeah.
So Sunday night, you look forward to Walking Dead, right?
Walking Dead.
We don't watch Walking Dead on Sunday nights. I know, we're bad.
Someone put in the comments why she should watch Walking Dead.
Yes, and maybe we'll start. We're always looking for new shows. But Sunday night we watch SNL because we watch it on Hulu. So, it creates a positive interaction, and every positive interaction is like a deposit in the positive emotional bank account, and that's what protects your relationship. You want your positive emotional bank account to be in the black, not in the red. Because then, like, even when small little, like, bad things happen, when there's little tiffs or little misunderstandings, it's okay because the cushion of your relationship is largely positive.
Right.
And rituals of connection help do that in a very consistent, predictable way. So it's like, almost like, think about it like you're automatically depositing.
Yeah.
It's the set it and forget it type of depositing into your positive emotional bank account.
Yeah. I love that concept. I think that makes a lot of sense. So it's really worth it to do the rituals, which we'll talk more about. We'll give you more strategies for how to integrate them if you've fallen off of it. So when they do fall off, what happens? Like, how do you know? This is something I look for a lot in clients that I'm seeing, new clients especially. I always assess what rituals do they have. What rituals have they lost? Because 9 times out of 10, if they're sitting in my office, they've lost their rituals. So what do you see? And I put this out there so that you can think of your own relationship and how you're feeling in it right now and see if this fits with you. So lacking the benefit of the doubt. This is really, really a big one. So your partner's running late from work. They get home maybe a half hour late, but they didn't call. So early on in your relationship, when things are really, really positive, you're in the honeymoon phase, you may be thinking, oh, they're running late. He must have got caught at his desk with a phone call, or his boss must have grabbed him before he walked out, or he must be sitting in traffic. Something very benign, right? Benefit of the doubt.
The story you tell yourself is still sees your partner in the positive perspective.
Right. You expect the best. You expect good things from them.
It's not my partner, it's their circumstance.
Right. Versus if your rituals have broken down and your emotional bank account is low, we lose that benefit of the doubt. So now when he's a half hour late, you're thinking, what the hell? He knows I'm here cooking dinner, and he's a half hour late because he wants to piss me off, or because he's chatting it up with someone at work, or because he is trying to make dinner cold, or because he doesn't care that I made dinner. we sort of put these different labels on it where we're looking at our partner through a negative light because we don't have enough of a cushion, as you said, of those positive moments and interactions to see things positively.
Yeah, so it becomes not about the circumstance. It's not my partner is stuck in a circumstance. It's my partner is being withholding or rejecting, or it's not the circumstance, it's my partner.
Right.
Right? That's not giving benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And when that breaks down, that really, that's very impactful in our relationship. And that leads into another one for me, which is just like seeing your relationship more negatively.
Yeah.
Right? And how I see this a lot is like people will rewrite a bit of history.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll say like, oh yeah, well we went on this great vacation to Hawaii, but you know, like we only had fun because we were drinking on the beach. Right? It's like, or yeah, well we used to be intimate all the time, but it was just because, you know, we were younger and that's what you do when you're younger. Right? Like, it's something that makes your relationship, even though it could have been really positive, like it kind of puts these like negative lenses looking at your whole relationship, and I think that's a really hard place to get out of, you know, when you start rewriting a bit of history and when you start looking at everything through that negative lens. Like you're not giving benefit of the doubt, you're not seeing your partner as somebody who's in a circumstance, but as somebody who's intentionally withholding. So you get stuck in that negative sentiment override. Like it's really, really hard, even when there are positive gestures made towards you, to see them, and that sucks.
Yeah, that's really, really hard. It's a really bad feeling to be in that place. And I think the other way it filters through is through communication, right? And we talked a lot about communication in our last episode 001. So go check it out if you haven't already. But, you know, to not just view actions more negatively and to view the relationship more negatively, but to hear your partner's words more negatively. So if your partner says something neutral, we may read more into it, right? We may read between the lines and hear negativity or criticism or an underlying passive-aggressive meaning that isn't there. So it filters through every piece of the relationship.
Yeah, and it frankly just makes the relationship not the positive, connected place that you want it to be. And again, like, we're in relationships because we like our partners, we like the way they make us feel, we like making them feel good. And when you're in that negative state, when the rituals of connection aren't happening and you're not internalizing that reward, you're like, well, why am I even here?
Yeah. Yeah, you start to feel really unimportant.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
No, that's okay. So why do they fall off? We touched on this before. I know, you know, I could say for myself, like, I've noticed if we get really busy, so if I get really busy at work, or Tom's an accountant, so he has certain months where he gets super, super busy, it definitely, things can fall off then. Like, just your schedules take over and you don't have the time, or you're not carving out the time mindfully to protect those rituals. That's a really common way that things break down, whether you're having kids or there's a life transition, you're buying a house, you're redoing your house, like all of these things that we do through time can really interfere with that.
Yeah, and, you know, I think sometimes we can use being withholding with rituals of connection to communicate something, right? Like, unfortunately, when we're feeling upset, and I know this about myself, like, guilty over here, well, I used to be. I'm now reformed. You know, we don't always have, like, the most mature way of communicating when we're hurting, when we're feeling unimportant, when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling unsupported. So a really good thing, that a really easy go-to for us is to be withholding of those rituals of connection, like, in order to communicate our frustration. So it's like, you know, earlier on in our relationship, I remember one time I got really upset with George because I believe it was like my birthday, and you know, he was really busy. He was in the middle of writing his licensure exams. And, you know, I, being an only child, always want this big production for my birthday. And, you know, he was in the middle of these really intense exams, and he didn't get a chance to, like, plan as much as, you know, maybe I would have liked at the time. And I remember he came back, and I was like, no, I don't want to kiss you, right? Like, what I was really communicating in that moment is, like, I'm really upset that I wasn't made to feel important on a day where I was expecting a ritual of connection.
Yeah.
But instead I was withholding. And now I can see, like, how, like, redundant and how poorly that actually communicated my feeling.
Yeah.
And how bad that made George feel, and, like, how my message didn't translate at all. Yeah. All George got out of it was that I was being mean and withholding.
Yeah.
Not, like, it didn't make him want to do something really nice for my birthday anymore, but, you know, I think sometimes that's how we communicate our frustrations, because we just don't have better tools.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why, again, episode 1, really important, teaches you some of those tools to access that really good communication.
Like, that would have been a great moment to use your I statements.
Exactly.
Great moment. And if you don't know what I statements are, definitely go back and check it out. I think this is something that you really enjoy talking about, this idea that rituals of connection, they sort of touch on 3 different areas of the relationship. So you have to be mindful of, you know, creating them not just in one area, but touching on each of these 3. So I'll let you kind of speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think these 3 are the 3 core ones, and then I'll touch on some other ones. But, like, I think in any relationship there are 3 really, really core pillars almost. There's friendship, emotional intimacy, and physical intimacy. And I think it's really important to create rituals of connection around all 3, because, like, I think all 3 are equally as important, but people are good at what they're good at and don't necessarily want to challenge themselves in areas they're not good at. So sometimes I have couples that, like, really need to work on intimacy, but, like, they're really good at friendship rituals of connection. And if I just say, like, pick a ritual of connection that really works for you, they're going to do a game night. It's not going to lead to a whole lot of intimacy.
Right.
Because that's what's easy for them. Right? But I think when you're able to say, like, this, we need a ritual of connection in friendship, we need a ritual of connection emotionally, and we need a ritual of connection that focuses on physical intimacy, you're covering all your core bases.
Yeah.
So, like, a friendship-based ritual of connection would be something like taking your dog to the park.
Yeah.
Or a games night.
Yeah, totally.
Or, you know, doing some love maps questions, or the New York Times 36 questions, which I love and I think everybody should do. Something that really, like, touches at the core of your friendship, something that makes you feel known, something that allows you to get to know your partner in a deeper way, which is really, really important. An emotional ritual of connection, my favorite one, and you can say if you like this one, is the stress-reducing conversation. I think it's, like, again, such a small investment, such a huge payoff.
Yeah.
It's just like a 15-minute check-in to talk about all the stressors that exist in your life that are outside of your relationship. So your boss, your friend, your mom, your
commute,
anything.
Yeah.
It's like you get that time to vent and your partner just goes, I hear you, it's me and you against the world. They're wrong, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, it's that time when you really, really emotionally support each other around those external stressors. And it creates that sense of emotional depth and emotional connection. So that's one of my favorite ones. And then physical intimacy and, like, pleasure-based rituals, they can be as small and innocent as, like, George and I do our kiss. Some people, like, I really am pro-scheduled sex. I'm really pro-scheduling massage. I'm really pro-scheduling all kinds of physical interactions because sometimes when you don't, especially if, like, you're a new parent or something like that, they can really slip to the wayside. But physical expressions of love are so important. When you think about it, like, that physical intimacy is something that's so sacred. It's something you only share with your partner. Having a ritual of connection around that, whether it's like super PG or it's like we try out a new toy every month, like, it's so valuable and communicates like this is something that's sacred and important and cherished in our relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are really key. And, you know, the importance of the rituals is there's almost the idea of obviously creating them consistently in terms of a schedule, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, but also I almost think of it as when I need this, we do this. Like, that's a bit of a ritual too, right? So when I feel stressed, we hug. Or when I'm crying, my partner comes to me. Like, those are rituals too. Those are rituals within your relationship of how we interact. So being mindful of those 3 areas and trying to make sure that you're hitting each one is very important.
Yeah, and just to add, you know, like, there are other ones, couples that are really, like, devout or religious, like, rituals of connection centered around that, like, around how you celebrate the holidays, not just with your family, but what makes it special to the two of you. If, you know, like, if a sense of adventure is really important in your relationship, rituals of connection around adventure, rituals of connection around intellectual connection, but think of those as, like, the bonuses. Think of those as, like, the stuff that's going to be so enriching. But these 3 are the real core.
Yeah, for sure. So I think what's super important is that we share with you how to do this. How to put all of this into practice, how to reinstate rituals that maybe you've lost, or how to start new ones. It's not that complicated, which is great. I love simple. Simple is great. So the first step is to really pick activities, right? So things that we're talking about, it could be some sort of thing that you do together that goes well. So that's the key, right? If you know that right now you two are in a space where if you go food shopping together, there's going to be conflict, right? There's going to be...
Don't go food shopping
I don't want to go here, or I don't want to... Why do you always make me pack? Why do you always make me blah, 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 I'm not buying that. Don't do that. Don't pick that. Pick something that's going to go well. Going for a walk, going to a movie, going out to dinner, greeting your partner with a kiss when they return. Pick things that are going to go well. And I would even suggest sitting down together and make your own lists, right? Friendship-based. Jot down some examples. What's really exciting is we have something that's going to help you with this, so just wait. Make a list of everything that you think would be fun to do with your partner in those areas, and pick the ones that you are both into.
Yeah, and I always tell my couples, like, go in with the frame of mind of low stakes, high rewards. Small things that feel really good, nothing complicated, nothing that's a production, nothing that is too involved or that has, like, a lot of potential for impasses or failures. The smaller, the better.
Yeah. It can be, I mean, it can literally be as simple as we wake up in the morning and we sit together and have coffee. Like, it can be that simple.
That's such a fantastic ritual of connection. I'm really happy you said that one, because that's one that George and I have been doing since he's been working from home. And it's just, like, such a positive note to start our day on, is to share a coffee together.
Definitely.
And again, super simple, low stakes, high rewards.
It's a really funny story. I have to share it because it's about coffee and rituals. So my husband and I always go to Starbucks together in the morning and get coffee because we like Starbucks. And one morning we went there, and it had been a couple days since we hadn't been able to do it, so we lost our ritual for a bit of time. And he went in, and the girl behind the counter, there was an interchange, and she knew that I was related to him, that I was his wife. She saw me in the car. Oh, that's her. Oh, I know what she gets. And they just had a funny conversation about the fact that we're always in there together, and, you know, that it would be strange. It was strange to her that he was in there without me, and it would have been strange if I had been in there without him. So I thought that was really cute. That really validated our ritual, that we're really pretty good at it.
Yeah. And I mean, the barista even noticed that the ritual of connection between the three of you was disrupted.
You're right. You're right. So that was just a funny story. I like that. So once you've picked your rituals, in the beginning, to make them happen, you want to schedule them. So you're going to schedule them until they become a habit. And when we say schedule, we literally mean schedule. Put it on the calendar at a certain time. Know where you're doing it, how you're doing it. If there's any, setup involved or any travel involved, make sure that you know what's going on and how you're going to accomplish that. And the other thing, I don't know how you feel. I tend to tell couples, especially if it's something at home where they're meeting at the end of the day to do the stress-reducing conversation or something else, rather than set a time, especially if they have kids, pick a situational trigger, right? So when the kids go to bed, we meet in the living room, right? After we have dinner, we do the dishes together. Pick something an action that's going to happen every night rather than a time.
Yeah, couple it with something you already do. Like couple stress-reducing conversation with dinner. Couple hugging till relaxed with, out reading after reading in bed or after your favorite TV show that you watch nightly together. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's a really great idea because I think some people are a little thrown off because, again, like, I know New York life, like, it's, I never know what's going to happen at 7:30 on a Tuesday.
No.
Like, I could literally be anywhere. And if I was committed to, doing something with George at 7:30 on Tuesday, the chance of that not happening is actually pretty high. Whereas, like, if I know my dog needs to get walked every day, if I have a ritual of connection that's coupled with walking my dog, I know that happens whatever time that happens at, whenever we're both available, and that's so much more doable. That's a really, really great piece of advice.
Yeah. That's good. So pick that. And it could be as simple as, I know I'm going to brush my teeth every night, so after I brush my teeth, we do this.
Yeah.
Or even, like Marina said, coupling it together, right? A ritual I recommend to a lot of couples is even, like, showering together.
Yep.
So
great. It's like a very intimate ritual, but you gotta shower, so it's like killing two birds in one stone. Again, simple, low stakes, high reward. I love that one. I recommend that one a lot too.
Yeah.
And again, like, I think the mentality that you go into this with is super important. Like, this is a feel-good activity. This is not you going on some sort of, like, elimination restrictive diet where you're, like, tortured. This is about building a really positive habit in your relationship, and you need to look at it as such. Like, you need to look at this as, like, this is fun, this is rewarding, this is enriching, this is what makes my relationship feel awesome, this is what makes my relationship feel great.
Yeah, absolutely. Super, super good. So those are our tips. And as always, we don't want you just to listen to this or watch it and then move on with your day and forget about what we shared with you. We want you to integrate it into your relationship. So what we've done for you is create a long list of sample rituals in each of those areas that you can choose from. So if you don't feel like making your own list, download ours, circle the ones that apply to you that you would like to do, share them with your partner, get them set up, and get them going. So if you want to get access to that list, you can reach it on our website at simplygreatrelationships.com/002. Pretty
Great.
good.
Yeah. I think there's a really, really good list there. A lot of great ideas on there. A lot of stuff that we've taken away from couples we've seen that's really worked and it's been really easy to integrate. So let's talk about our takeaways. What was your biggest takeaway?
Oh boy. My biggest takeaway is probably the importance of not staying in one area with your rituals, of touching different areas of your relationship, the friendship, the emotional intimacy, and the physical intimacy, and making sure that you have consistent rituals in each area to have a fully healthy, integrated relationship. I think that's really, really important because that's not always something that crosses my mind. I know when Marina and I were even just talking about what we were going to share with you today, that was something that she brought up, and I was like, that's a good one.
Thanks. I think my biggest takeaway is, to couple your rituals of connection with something you already do. Like, how simple does it make to create an awesome ritual of connection if you're coupling it with something you're doing anyways?
Yeah, absolutely. Can't get easier than that.
Take a shower together.
Yeah. Number one takeaway. Shower together. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, that's all for today. I think there was some really, really good stuff in there. Be sure to download that list so you can get going even sooner. We hope you take these tips and use them. We'd love for you to continue the conversation with us in our Facebook group. So here's where you'll find extra tips, tricks, and live streams. We're going to jump in there and do live streams periodically, exclusively for our members. So you can get into the group at facebook.com/groups/simplygreatrelationships, or you can just go to our website, simplygreatrelationships.com, and click the link. We will add you to the group, and you'll be part of that conversation, which is pretty fun.
Yep, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Definitely. So let us know in the comments and in the group what rituals you pick, what you're doing, how it's going, and we look forward to hearing from you. So until next time, we'll see you soon.